it's working. So good. So the first question is, what were your expectations about either program prior to really learning about it or experiencing it?
I can go. So I don't know exactly what my expectations were, but my general thoughts were maybe just going into a classroom and sitting down and reading a book with a child. I was pleasantly surprised to learn that it was a little different than that. The thing that I really found the most useful was the creation of the lesson plans for each lesson, because I've actually really been able to translate that, and creating lesson plans for your program has been a lot easier because I've had the work with the lesson plans through Spark. So.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I feel like it was going to be a lot more like loose-ended as to what we were doing with the kids, but because of the structure, I think it's as successful as it is. You know, the repetition of it too.
Do you feel I explained that when you came in for the interview, or was that just a blur at the interview and you're like, oh, I'm just going to read in the corner or something?
I think you did say something about a lesson plan.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So when I'm reading this question, I'm thinking, okay, when I'm first hearing about the program,
Oh, okay.
once I'm going into the interview, I think
okay.
you did a very good job of
Yeah.
explaining what it's actually going to look like.
Okay, okay, good.
Yeah, when I first heard about the program, I was like, okay, getting paid to do my observations while being with students that are of lower grades, perfect, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what I thought when I first heard about the program. But then interview got a lot more clarification.
How did you feel about your ongoing training once you were initially trained? Did you feel like you got enough support?
Oh,
You know, if we were like on the job with our students.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
So that's coming. So
Oh, I'm
I
sorry,
don't want to.
question.
That's coming. That's coming.
Okay.
Any other comments regarding, again, just initially hearing about it? Because the reason why, again, Sean kind of relates. So that was my purpose to say, what did you initially know? Because there essentially wasn't an orientation. I had mentioned something at orientation saying you'll have this opportunity. Ideally, it would be great to have someone in the future be there during the initial orientation of program. I know that we couldn't work on it this semester, but I think that would be beneficial because I was, of course, able to give them a list of schools to reassure them for that. And to kind of explain that you wouldn't be going from one Spark school to a different placement for your social studies. That was my major concern. So I think having someone there to kind of speak to that. And what's nice is that, again, this fall I'll have this group to possibly stick around to maybe do that if no one from here is, because we usually have the orientation on Tuesday evening, which is methods class. So I could have at least a couple of the guys speak to that if needed. So that would be great.
And chances are one of us can come
Absolutely.
again.
So that's great. And again, I'll give you those dates well ahead of time.
Sure.
Anything else before we move forward that you'd wanted to share?
I felt like it was pretty flexible. Like at no point did I feel like I was, until I'd actually come in and accepted the job, I didn't feel trapped. Or I was like, oh, if this doesn't work out, then it's fine. Like I felt comfortable with not feeling like I had overcommitted myself or anything.
Okay, great.